My name is Federico Segui. I must say I'm not an expert on labor market statistics, but I have experience as a consultant on using administrative registers for statistical purposes in the Latin America region. And currently, besides being the deputy director of the NSI, I'm in charge of the transformation of the NSI from survey-based statistics to register-based statistics based on an integrated system of statistical registers that we are building. I will tell you that our experience on using administrative data to produce some experimental labor market statistics. I will also talk about some steps we are doing in the direction of building an integrated system of statistical registers based on the Scandinavian countries model. This model this system is composed by three basic registers: population, business, and real estate. Besides, the base registers are linked among them and with other registers of the system by key variables like the personal ID number. In Uruguay, we have a unique ID number for people, and also the business ID number and the address code. At this time, we have built the base registers of business and population, and we are building the labor activities registers. Great. The business register was built many years ago, and since 1998, the NSI has not conducted traditional business censuses anymore. Rather, business censuses are register-based since that time. We have built the statistical register of population based on the administrative data from SIAS, an information system on social area, built and known by the Ministry of Social Development. This system has about 4.5 million of records of people, take into account that the population of Uruguay is 3.5 million. I will talk about this system in the next slide. The NSI is also working on the wages and labor activities registers, especially for the wages and salaries surveys, but also for other 3 or 4 surveys, including household surveys like the labor force survey. And we currently are receiving data of public sector from the Ministry of Finance, and we receive data of private sector from the Ministry of Labor and from the Social Security Authority. In all cases, the administrative data we agreed is at a microdata level with national ID numbers to identify each person, and with a business ID number to identify each company where each person works. Let's talk a little bit about the population registers. The NSI is member of this SIAS system, this initiative of the Ministry of Social Development. The SIAS system is fed by 62 administrative registers from 15 government agencies. Government agencies like the Social Security Authority, Ministry of Social Development, Ministry of Dwelling, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, Public and Private Health Services, Public and Private Education Services, among others. this system it's not just a register of social program beneficiaries, but it integrates records of people through through record linkage by the national ID number from different government agencies. It's some kind of big information system or central database created mainly for policy making, monitoring, and public management purposes. And then it is also used for statistical purposes like the NSI does. So the information is sent on a regular basis to the NSI to update our population register, statistical population register. So this SIA system is some kind of central population register, but we know we have to improve that system, and we are working with other institutions to transform these SIAs into a central population register. But at this time, it's a very, very important data source. I mean, it's our main data source for population. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about our wages and activities registers. Since February 2020, the NSI receives administrative data on wages and activities of civil servants from the Ministry of Finance. It is micro data with the national ID numbers. We also receive data on wages and activities of private workers from the Ministry of Labor and from the Social Security Authority. So monthly, the NSI receives data from the Ministry of Finance of public sector salary through a web service, and data of public sector from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security Authority. This is not, at this moment, it's not by a web service. It's just sharing or exchanging data files. But we are working on building a strong system for data exchange and interoperability by the government interoperability platform. Data transformation and quality checks processes are run by the NSI to transform administrative registers and administrative variables into statistical ones. Also, the national ID number is replaced by a statistical ID during these processes. That is used later to link data with other statistical registers into the system. Currently, we are reviewing administrative registers, evaluating quality and coverage and so on. At this moment, wages and salary survey is under review, updating processes and improving quality. The new wages and salary survey and the wage price index will be ready on March of the next year, and it will be a register-based survey mostly, we hope. Let's see the current status of our transformation process. As I mentioned it, we see data with the national ID number and the business ID numbers to identify people and companies. For the private sector, we see data from two main admin sources, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security Authority, and other minor sources. In the case of the public sector, we have found 50 administrative sources, total of 432 databases or files of administrative registers. Currently, the NSI have received 52% of all available administrative registers, but we already have the 87% of the public sector workers and the 99% of the private sector workers. Our statistical data warehouse, or the integrated system of statistical registers, is ready. It is in production. We are working on the new wages and salary survey and the wage price index. We are moving from a questionnaire-based survey to a register-based survey. The public sector is ready, and we produce statistics and the wage price index just for internal use. And the new index will be ready in March of the next year, as I mentioned. We are comparing statistics from different data sources and combining different data sources like the labor force survey and statistical registers. We are producing some experimental labor statistics, linking population, business and activity registers to produce statistics on labor relations. And for example, gender gaps in the labor market, socioeconomic characterization of workers, and so on. Also, the panel data analysis on labor market transitions, change of jobs, among others. And well, that's it. This is my final slide. I don't expect that you read all of this information. That just we can skip that. Thank you.